So, of course, as the spiel goes, LOT is a group in New London. It's been around at least 11 years, if not a little longer. And they look out for taxes. We try to keep control, not control, but keep people informed of what the council's doing, what the Board of Ed is doing, what they're doing with your money. And we meet every second and fourth Wednesday of the month at the Senior Center at 7 o'clock. I know we have 81 hits so far on our webpage. I would like to see some of you stop in sometime. Bring it on. Bring what you have to say. Come down, listen. Come down and talk. We're always open to suggestions, and you might have something in mind that could be our next big push. Certain things pop up at certain times, and the group will get together and they'll vote on whether we want to pursue it, we want to go out and fight for it, and they have, and we have, since I've been with the group, have fought for many things. We've been successful for, I think, probably more than we've lost, and if you want to be a paid member of the group, it's only $10 a year. And for some of the members out there that are watching that haven't been in a long time, we're having our Christmas party.
Christmas.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, yes, Merry Christmas, everybody. Why didn't you just jump in with that?
No, I just did.
So we firmly believe in Merry Christmas. I know a lot of you out there firmly believe in Merry Christmas. And, don't be afraid to say it. If you walk in a store and someone says Happy Holidays, because they're told not to say Merry Christmas, just say back to them, Merry Christmas. It is what this country was founded on. We've been saying that since who knows how long. And just because people come to this country and they all of a sudden feel offended by it, all of a sudden people that have lived in this country feel offended by it, well, that's your problem. That's not my problem. And it's not the country's problem. So
I've only heard it for 87 years. That's
only
all.
87?
That's all I heard it for.
Wow,
So
I've been
I
hearing
don't
it
know when
for,
it started.
64 now?
Yeah.
Jeez, I don't know. So if it offends you, which I don't think it does, anybody in New London, but if it does, you're more than happy to tune into one of those other exciting shows or stations. We won't be offended.
Some of those other dull shows, not
Yeah,
exciting
dull shows.
Gee whiz.
See, I told you I had Larry with me.
Hey.
So tonight we're kind of,
Oh, don't forget Dr. Hayes.
where's Dr. Hayes?
He's not here.
Well, where is he?
Give your people a report.
All right, Dr. Hayes, who takes care of all of us in the LOT group. If you have an ache or a pain, he'll tell you, if you say your arm hurts when you do this, he'll tell you don't do that kind of doctor. Well, I'm just joking around. No, Dr. Hayes is doing really well. He's up and about. He's come back to coffee, take over his role as the official, what would you call him with the crossword puzzles?
Answer man.
Answer man, there we go. He's the official answer man, and he's back. And he's getting along pretty good for an old timer. I tried to get him to come on the show tonight, but he wasn't having it yet. So he'll be back soon. Him and Larry, they always do a great show. So what am I missing?
Oh, you were asking people to come to the LOT show.
Yes.
Something a little bit extra, not the LOT show, the LOT meeting.
Meetings.
The LOT meeting. Where's the LOT meeting at?
The Senior Center
The
at
Senior
7
Center?
o'clock.
And when is it? When's the
The
next
second
one?
and the fourth Wednesday. The next
Well-
one is the 9th, I believe.
No, that happens to be
The
next
Christmas
Wednesday.
party. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, it's this coming.
Actually,
It's this coming Wednesday.
Something a little.
We're having a little tiny Christmas party,
Okay.
and people are bringing, some stuff to eat, and we're gonna have a Yankee swap thing going on. So hey, you're welcome to come down and join us. Say
Sure.
hello.
For that Yankee swap, could I swap insult?
Yeah, but somebody else might want it after you do it. So that's how that works, I
okay.
guess. You have to
Yeah.
write it down.
Oh,
Yeah, you gotta write it down.
yeah, but I have to be politically correct, and I don't know. if I
No,
could
we
do
don't
that.
have to be politically
we
correct.
don't?
No,
Okay.
that's a bunch of crap.
All right.
That's
all
what's
right.
getting us in so much trouble. It's unbelievable. Political correct. My butt grow some skin. Political correct. All right. The reason I was laughing when the show first started is I was saying to Larry that I think he needs to come on to one of the shows this month dressed as Santa. And he just looks at me and he goes, nah. I don't know, I guess you had to be here, but it's just the way he did it. Cracked me up.
Well, because you look more like Santa than me.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't?
No. Santa's been
Your
on a
beard's
crash
longer
diet.
than mine.
Oh, yeah, that's true. All right, well, maybe we can get Finizio to come on the show dressed as Santa.
Speaking of Finizio, why don't you
Yes.
speak of Finizio?
Let's speak of,
He
do we
had a-
want to speak of Finizio?
No, you go ahead. You read the paper today.
Well, no, I printed out the story. As you know, they had a swearing in of 6 new firefighters. One of them's a fire inspector. 2 of them are, I don't know what 2 of them are. You got 3 new ones that I believe are going to the academy. You got 2 new ones that are starting off. Some people aren't happy. Some of the, I guess from what the article is saying, some of the constables aren't happy because they used to have a system where you took the top 3. So Finizio and I don't know who else decided that wasn't enough, so they went with the top 6.
The top 6.
So that they could bring more minorities within the fire department. One plus thing I see here is that 3 of them, I guess, is it 3 of them? 3 of them are from New London, I believe. Oh, I know 2 are. And that's a good thing. We need more people from New London doing our New London jobs. That's one way we can help keep our taxes down. So, I don't know. What do you think? You think going to 6 top people instead of 3? I mean, we're hiring 6 people. Now, my first thought, as always, is where's the money coming from? I mean, is there money in the budget for it? And as I was just told recently before the show, that it beats the heck out of all the money we spent on the fire department in overtime. So you think that's
Well,
going to take care of the overtime issue?
I'm not sure about overtime because I hear it explained, both ways, that it's good and that it's not so good. The part that I don't care about overtime is they abuse it, especially the last, 3 years before retirement.
Yeah.
They steer all the overtime to the potential retirees, to boost their retirement checks.
Why do we do that? Why does I know? Excuse me. I know the state does that with state workers, police, anybody that's. It seems anybody that's in a union of some kind.
Yeah.
They
And
do
they're
this.
all in the union.
So why not just take the last 3 years without the overtime?
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, they haven't been doing overtime the whole time they've been.
Well, that's what I say. Lots of times overtime is necessary. Lots of times overtime is cheaper than hiring someone else because then they're going to be a retiree eventually, and it costs more in the end. No, but I say the part I'm not happy with is the ones that abuse overtime just before they retire. Now, that's all in the contract, that they can do it that way. And we just don't have anybody in administration that would ever want to do anything about that to change it. Because they think, or they figure, that since they work for the city, there's always money. It's different projects in the city that they're always broke. But for city employees, they can always find the money. No?
No, well, obviously, I mean, we seem to pay it.
Yeah.
People complain about it, council complains about it, and yet we still pay it.
All right, the promise is again for this year with their our new mayor was going to hold the taxes down. How are you going to do that really when they already said the school budget is proposed to go up $1,670,450, something like that.
1.6 million around.
So that means higher taxes, and now they're hiring 6 firemen all at once.
And does anybody out there know how many policemen we've hired in the last year, if any? I think we've hired a few. But I was talking with one of the guys on a garbage truck, and I was asking him what he thought about this. And he goes, well, that's fine. He goes, but the fire department aren't the only ones that need new people.
Yeah.
He goes, we could use some people.
Yeah.
and the police could use some people. So instead of hiring 6 firemen, well, maybe they should have hired 2 firemen, 2 public works, 2 policemen to start.
Well, I would have considered it, that way myself, but this is like a last-ditch deal for Finenzio.
Well, the bottom
Yeah.
line is, before this actually becomes the law, for lack of a better word, council's got to approve it.
Yeah.
They got to approve the money for this. So this is really a good test for the first council.
Yeah.
Well, it puts them in a really tough spot. Do they say yes because it's the new London thing to do, or do they say not this way because of the taxpayers? We're up here looking out for our taxpayers, and maybe this isn't such a good idea at this time. I don't know. Some people think that by this new system that you're going to have some people that ain't quite qualified to do the job, and it could bring lawsuits against the city if something happens. Well, you can get lawsuits against the city no matter how professional somebody is.
Oh, yeah.
But I can understand that. The least experienced you are, there's probably more chance of that. But I tell you, it takes some big cojones if someone's saving your butt in a fire that, you may not like the way they carry you out of a building, so you're going to sue. I mean, these people are in there putting their lives on the line, and someone's going to sue. I mean, to me, it would have to be something very dramatic to be suing.
Well, some of those deals, they don't sound right to me, but I would imagine if I was being carried out, I'd be thrilled to death that he's carrying me out. The only time I would be upset is when we get down to the bottom, then he drops me. then I might get a little annoyed. When he brings me out of that burning building, I'm all for him.
Well, and as I was reading this article about our soon-to-be ex-mayor, we got a call coming in, maybe. He was talking about the body cameras too, how his whole administration has been pushing for body cameras.
Oh.
Now he hasn't. Body cameras are new. Let's take this call before you go there. You got your mic messed up in your. There you go. Good evening. You're on LOT.
Hello there.
Hello there.
I just got a postcard from somebody in the LOT organization, and it says, save the date, the LOT holiday party, Wednesday, December 9th at 6:30. Not 7, 6:30.
Okay.
I think that's to allow extra time for all the goodies to be exchanged.
Oh, yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
Okay.
That's great, caller.
Okay.
So how come you're not here?
Because I'm here at home. It's more
all right.
comfortable.
That explains it.
And anyway,
You're talking about funny. How you
hey,
going to
have
top
a good
that?
show. Goodbye.
Bye, Doc. All right. What were you going to say?
Oh, you were talking about body cameras.
Yeah.
Well, I had a question some time ago. I'm not sure, but it was told to me that the body camera is only 8 megapixel, if you understand what that means.
I have no idea. You're the camera expert.
The camera's, it's pretty small. Just wondering if you go to blow up those pictures so that you can actually recognize the face that you just took a picture of. I wonder if it would be all fuzzed out. Is the camera with 8, what did I say?
Pixels or something?
Megapixels, if that's enough. Because you see sometime on TV when they blow up some of these body camera pictures, some of them are all fuzzed out.
Yeah.
Some
And
not,
that's
not
from
so
not
much.
having enough pixels? Or?
Yeah, because, well, they're all little dots like that, and the smaller number, there's bigger spaces in between, so then when you enlarge that picture, the space gets bigger, so there's a lot more room for fuzzy.
Yeah, but you would think that they try these things out before.
Well, I would. It was just a question. But, I don't know.
Now, I thought I had heard that the federal government, when this first came down about the body cameras, and I don't think this body camera thing started 4 years ago or 3.5 years ago. I seem to kind of remember it's kind of relatively new. There was a big push after Ferguson to put body cameras on police officers. And that wasn't over 3 years ago, that I don't think.
Oh, I'd say within the last 3 years, there's a lot more publicity on it. But my guess would be that there's been body cameras around and certain places, possibly the last 8-10 years.
Well, that could be. But what I'm getting at...
Because they always got to have a test area to see if it's
Yeah.
really going to work before they invest millions of dollars to make a lot of them.
But I seem to remember when they first started talking about this in London, that there was going to be some kind of federal grant that came along with this.
Yeah, a
And-
lot of the cities got that, yeah.
Yeah, well, did we get that? Because he was talking about pushing I think they wanted a bond,
Oh.
shoot, 1.64 million or something like that
No, I think
for these
no,
cameras?
No,
For this-
560,000, something like that. Yeah, I can remember.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Anyways, it was bonding more
Yeah.
money.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I'm getting at here, it's like I said, it definitely took some exertion of effort on my part and my staff to get it over the finish line. But I was determined to use every minute that I had as mayor to advance those things that I felt were good for the city. So, folks out there,
And one of his favorite things that he says since he's out, he asked the question, it's not the same, it's pretty close to the same question that Ernie Hewitt asked too. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? And my answer to that is, the only one that I know is better off than he was 4 years ago is Finenzio. He's $400,000 better off.
well, the latest he wants the council to approve, and this is another decision the council is going to be making in maybe their first session, which is something I need to talk about also, is instead of he's entitled through some kind of benefit plan that they have, that he gets $1,000 a year for 4 years of being mayor. He wants to give that back to the city, and in return, have full medical coverage or insurance, medical, and I don't know what else it may include, till June of 2016. So it's like basically 6 months, 11 months. 6 months, 7 months, instead of the $4,000 that he's entitled to. Now, they postponed that vote last meeting till the new council comes in. So already we have two things that are going to be on the plate of the new council. One is accepting and voting in favor of the new firemen, and the money it's going to cost for it, and whether they want to give Finenzio this extended insurance thing. Now the reason he said he should get it is because when he came into office, he gave such great deals to people that were leaving, and that the same should happen with him.
Oh, right. That's his reasoning?
Yeah, that was one
sounds
of
like his reasoning. But I would say no to the deal. Even though he's making it sound like the 4,000 is more than if we paid, the medical. Because if we sign up and say, yes, well, we'll pay the medical,
him and his spouse.
when the time is up on that 6 months or whatever it is, he'll say, well, how about an extension, fellas? Can I have an extension for the next 30, 40 years?
Well, I don't know about that.
Well,
But
but once it's on the books, all you have to do is ask for is an extension.
well, I spoke about this at the last council meeting they had, and I was saying basically is a lot can happen in 6 months. We could end up on the hook for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Anything could happen. I hope nothing happens. I wish him the best of luck in health and future. But, if you're going to, if you do it, if you set, what do they call it, precedent?
Precedent, yeah.
Whatever.
Whatever.
then the next mayor, when his time's up, well, of course, he's gonna get it. And then every mayor after that. One of these times is gonna bite us in the ass,
Yeah,
sure as
well,
hell.
While you were explaining that to me, it reminded me of something, and I'd go along with you because, remember, he is also a box fighter.
Yeah, he is a boxer.
Okay. If he goes to exhibition or amateur boxing or whatever to show off, like, usual, supposing he did get really hurt,
Or his spouse.
and then we'd be
Or his husband.
be
What if
stuck
he gets
on the hook for
What if
years.
his husband gets hurt?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know.
That's why I said
It
no.
wasn't part
I'd say
of.
no
I
to
don't
the
remember
deal.
that being part of the deal.
Especially if he's asking for it. It means he's doing something in his favor, not in the taxpayer's favor.
This is true.
So I'd say no, definitely.
All right. I don't know how much we want to beat up the mayor.
Oh, well.
But anyways, one thing I wanted to bring up is this Monday, there's supposed to be a city council meeting. But what's going to happen this Monday is you're going to have the swearing in of the mayor, the city council, and the board of ed. Oh, we got a call? Good evening, you're on LOT. Hope
Hello,
you're not waiting
LOT.
long. Hello.
Hello.
How
So before
are
you get through beating up on the mayor.
We're done.
No, I'm not done.
Oh. You're going to have to speak up so Larry
I
can hear you.
would not vote for that, not be in favor of that, until he has a complete and thorough checkup so that we know that he doesn't have anything on the agenda, any major surgeries, anything going on that could develop into a serious condition in the next 6 months.
Well, that would have to hold true for Todd, too.
That's right. That was my
So
other
who's going to pay
question.
for that? So would the city pay for that physical?
I would rather pay for a physical than end up with $100,000, hospital bill.
And not only that, when people get hurt, sometimes when they're out for a year or 2 or 3, they're still getting paid.
That's right. I mean, what if he, got something going on with concussion, contusion, whatever, and
Well,
he's going to claim that he can't work anymore for the rest of his life. Is the city going to be on the, on the stick for all of that?
it wouldn't surprise me in the least in this city.
Yeah,
It really wouldn't.
yeah. That's why to me it would be worth doing a complete and thorough.
Well, it's
medical
going to be interesting
evaluation.
to see what happens at the first council meeting.
Yeah,
If
we'll all
if
be
this
there.
comes up and their reasoning behind it, because I've noticed that, and you know too, Karen. I mean, you've been at probably almost caught up to as many council meetings as I've been to in a short period of time. You get some of these people that will vote in favor of it.
Yeah,
I mean, just to be nice guys.
yeah. But you're playing with my money.
Yeah. Well, they're playing with their own money too. This is what I don't understand
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
All right.
Okie doke.
All right. Thanks.
See you on Wednesday at 6:30.
When?
6:30.
No. Well, you're not going to go to the swearing in?
Well, yeah, I'll see you then
Okay.
too. But I had to get that in there.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
So back to the swearing in. This is what's going to happen, I've been told, is they're going to go to the council meeting on Monday at City Hall, and then the council president, which I would assume would be Heislip because the new one isn't sworn in at this point,
Yeah.
he's going to recess the council meeting, and then they're all going to go down to the old Radisson, or the La Luna it's called now, which is I used to thought it was called a Holiday Inn, but whatever it is, down
Well,
across
yeah.
from Cornish's parking lot.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm getting twisted. Isn't it the Holiday Inn now? It
No,
used to be
no.
the Radisson?
I don't know what it used to be. You know the hotel across from Cornish's parking lot? What's that called?
Yeah.
It used to be the Radisson.
Yeah,
It's now
used to be the
Holiday
Radisson.
Inn.
Now
The
it's a-
restaurant inside the Holiday Inn
See?
is called La Luna. So
Ah.
La
Why can't they
Luna
just
is
have
the
one name?
Well, because the restaurants are all named differently in all of them.
Ah,
But
That's-
anyway, it was the Radisson.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's right down the street.
I was right, it is a
Hall.
Holiday
I got
Inn.
them all, didn't I?
Yeah.
So then they're gonna go down there, and they're
Yeah.
gonna have a swearing-in ceremony, I think around 7. So the city council meeting will probably start a little sooner. And I believe the agenda is gonna be the Board of Ed is gonna get sworn in first, then the city council, and then the mayor. Which once that is done, they're gonna have a reception. Everybody from the public is welcome to go to it. It doesn't cost anything to get into this. And my question is who is paying for this? So I called newly elected mayor and asked him, and he got back to me rather quickly and said it's being paid for by donations.
Well, I would assume that was campaign money.
Yes. And he sure did raise enough of it.
Yeah.
So, but he also said if you'd like to make a donation, you can always make a donation to the Democratic Town Committee,
Did that get stuck in your throat?
a little bit.
Uh,
I had to think in my head real hard. And then what's gonna happen from that point
Yeah.
is Tuesday, the following day, they're gonna meet again at City Hall, and the new council president, which my understanding is gonna be Erica Richardson, is going to open up the new council meeting, and they're gonna get down to business.
uh-huh.
Now, the only things I found out is Erica Richardson is gonna be council president, and Mike Tranquita is gonna be pro temp.
Oh,
And what the others are gonna be doing, I have no idea. So it ought to be interesting to see who gets what,
oh.
who they
All right.
end up cheering.
So that means if I had any interest in going, I would go right to the Holiday Inn
Yes.
Park and go in and find the La Luna room, whatever.
Yes.
So that's probably the same room they used a few years ago, I would think, the Republicans used.
Oh, the Republicans actually used the room?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, when they had the state Republican thing.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say, I can't imagine
Yeah.
New London Republicans
then-
doing that.
Then they'd have to go back Tuesday to the City Hall for the
Yeah.
regular new meeting.
Now, I was told that this is common practice. It has even before, when they had ceremonial mayors. They would open up the council meeting, they would all get sworn in, and then they would go to the mayor's house or someplace, and they would have like a little party, and then conduct business the following day. I don't know, is that true? Clark,
trying
are
to
you
remember.
listening?
I'm trying to remember, because I remember some years ago going to one of the swearing-ins at City Hall. And they brought in extra chairs and everything else, and if I remember right, there was no fire marshal coming in saying it was overloaded. But other times when the people wanted to have a referendum speech or something, oh, it's too many people, you'll have to get out.
Yeah, I kind of remember one of them.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was looking at the paper the other day, and I noticed, no, in fact, actually it was online, that Groton had their swearing in last week.
Yeah,
Mayor, and they did a Republican sweep in Groton,
Oh,
all but
yeah.
one.
yeah,
And they had their swearing in at their city hall.
yeah,
And I hear Norwich has their swearing in at their city hall.
yeah.
And Montville, I believe, has their swearing in at their city hall. So what's so special about New London?
I just got through telling you, there's not enough room in that City Hall room.
Well,
Because
these
by
other
the
city
time
halls
they-
ain't much bigger.
By the time they ask all of their relatives, then their friends, and then the people that got the most votes for them, don't forget, you're going to have
Well, as long as they're paying for it, I guess I really don't
7
care.
Board of Ed members. There's 7 families there, 7 families for the city councilors, and then the mayor. You know, he might even borrow some people for families, I don't know, to keep the numbers up.
So what do you?
The room is just too small.
So have you given any thought to what you think about the new makeup of the council?
The new makeup?
Yeah.
So far, I haven't even memorized all the names on the council.
Well, there's only, 3 new people, I believe?
Yeah.
There's Martha Marks, who is president of the nurses union in some way, I'm not sure
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
how. And Don Vendetta, and John Sadeye,
Yeah.
and then the rest of whoever was there before.
Yeah, I guess I can remember the three names eventually, but as far as what I think about it, maybe you better show up on Tuesday night.
Oh, I'll be there.
Well,
I'll be there.
then
Someone's got to watch these folks.
What I think about it.
Are you going to show up? You going to come up Tuesday?
Right now, I'm planning on it, but it all see what the weather is like. I don't like going out in the cold, especially when it's cold at night.
All right. What?
It should be okay by next Tuesday, because
Oh,
we have
this-
a warming trend the next 2-3 days.
There's one more thing I want to discuss real
Oh,
quick,
okay.
and then I'm going to turn it over to you.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. There was an article in the paper, and it's happening in Groton. It says town police and animal control officers still are asking anyone for tips to come forward after 2 kittens were found in a taped-up cardboard box Tuesday afternoon. Police said the kittens were discovered in a field located near the intersection of Quaker Farm Road and Lambtown Road around 1 p.m. According to animal control officers, Christine O'Brien, both of the kittens, which are being housed at the animal control office, are short hair and 10 to 12 weeks old. 10 to 12 weeks old.
How did they get found?
I don't know yet. She said one is a tiger cat while the other is a calico. O'Brien said after investigations concluded and after the state mandate 7-day hold expires, both kittens will be available for adoption. The kittens remain in good health, she said. The person who discovered the kittens Tuesday afternoon has asked to remain anonymous. Anyone who saw or heard any activity in the area or otherwise has information about the abandonment is asked to call O'Brien at 860-441-6709, 860-441-6709, or send a confidential tip via the police department's website. You can find that online. All right. If there's one thing I hate almost as much is the crap that's going on in our country now with all this terrorist crap, is when people do things like this to animals. Look, if you're going to put them in a box and tape it up, there's places you can go and drop them off. You don't need, it's not like someone's going to look down on you. It's not like anybody's going to even know you dropped them off. Just take them to a humane society. It's like taking a baby that's 10 to 12 weeks old, sticking it in a box, and sticking it out in the field. And do you realize the kind of critters that are out there that would have got into that box and had dinner with these kittens? And I'm not talking about the kittens sharing a meal. Your people that do this stuff are going to be the weakest, chickenest, and I won't finish that statement, going. Just take them someplace and drop them off. It's not a big deal anymore. Drop them off. If you can't afford to pay for them, if they require some kind of fee for you dropping them off, just say, look, I can't pay for it. Put the box down in their office and leave. That's it. What, are they going to send you a bill? They don't even know who the hell you are. But don't do this. Your karma is going to be really, really bad. And if I can do anything to help your karma be bad, I'd be there doing it. So stop it. All right, I'm done. That's my rant for tonight. All right, you're up.
Oh. Well, I got old notes here. Is that all right?
I don't care. Anything will do.
Actually, I haven't had
The way people
added
pay
anything
attention
to
in
this
town.
page for the last 3 meetings or 3 shows. Oh, here's one that maybe you know the answer to. Way back in, let's see, 1999?
Oh, it's just still a thought.
Yeah, 1999. The grand list for New London was 839 million, the grand list.
Oh, man.
Now, you know what the grand list is today?
Yeah, it's more than that.
Well, it's 1.5 plus billion. Practically doubled.
How can
It's about 700 million more. Now, Pfizer came in. That $300 million building was assessed for 50 million. So that would account for 50 million out of the 700 additional.
Yeah.
Now, what progress has there been in New London to make the value come up $650 million. You know, what's the new projects? What new buildings went up? Any manufacturing? Any kind of businesses? How do they justify this?
I don't know. That's always boggled my mind. I remember the first time I saw that figure, and I said, God, the grand list is that. And I had to read it 3 or 4 times because it wasn't registered. We were talking billions of dollars here.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really registered, and we were talking hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, well, if our grand list is that high, then why do we have any problems with taxes? And it wasn't written. Now, let me ask you a question with this. If you have somebody...
No, it's not the question is, what made it that high? What did they do to the town to make the value of the properties, you know, what was the additional buildings that they put up? What businesses came in to justify $650 million increase?
Well, they have up on Bank Street here, where Signorama was, they tore that down and they put up storage units. Does that count?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it would count.
There's one excuse.
Yeah.
Now, across the street, you have Holly Davison came in, Mike's Hollies,
Yeah.
but they just took over another building that was
Yeah.
already there. So does that count?
Well, don't forget, if I remember right, they're still in the enterprise zone.
Up on Bank Street?
I'm pretty sure they were getting a good deal. You know, the Coca-Cola company was getting a good deal on their taxes for years.
Okay, what zone is it downtown?
Well, downtown is the enterprise zone all around the
But
place.
I thought that only went so far.
Well,
That used to be one of my complaints.
all right. It went as far as Pfizer's. You know, they might give it a different name, but it amount to the same thing. They get the big tax break.
Huh.
So what I'm getting at is the reason we went up $650 million is the town planning and development hasn't done anything.
So how would it go up?
All they did was raise the value on the property that's already there. So what they're doing is just pulling figures out of the air so that they can charge more taxes. That's all.
But
That's all it is.
Isn't that going to come to a point to where it's not going to, it just isn't going to be feasible? You're not going to be able to do that anymore? Doesn't it have to reach a
No,
point? I mean,
because-
what's the effect to the taxpayers when they say we have 1 point something billion dollars, that's what this town's worth,
Yeah.
and yet we're paying the kind of taxes I mean,
But-
how does that actually affect the town? What is there any plus to having our, what did you just call it? Oh, shit.
Well, it keeps the mill rate down. See, they're fooling the people that way. Now, if they left the value the same, 839 million for all these years,
Yeah.
you know what what the mill rate would be now?
No.
About 90 or 110, something
Really?
like that. Well, yes, in order to get the same $40 million that they want out of you today. Way back then, they only wanted 30 million.
Well, our budget is in the 80s.
Yes, but what comes in on taxes is 40, maybe now it's up to 44 million. That's what they get from property taxes. The other money comes from the state. Now, when I talk to Ernie, he says, you know, we give New London 39 million. I said, Ernie, with our state income tax and our state sales tax, you take 42 million out of the town, and you're giving us back 39 million. That's our money that we already paid. So there's 39 million that he admits giving you, but now that has gone up. Then you have to take in all of the grants and the federal grants, you know, the state grants and you know, all this baloney. You know what? All of this is just a bunch of paperwork. So they take 42 million away from us and give us back 39 million, and we're supposed to say,
Yeah.
you guys up there in Hartford are wonderful.
But technically, though,
Technically.
when we say our budget is 80-something $million, even though the state's giving us money, that money's coming from us still.
Yes.
I mean, we're paying taxes on our city
yes.
overall budget, and we're paying
Yeah.
taxes on the states. And then the state turns around and give us our money back,
Yeah.
only to have it taxed again.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, think of this. Quick, say 40, let's say 42 million from the property tax. The state is taking 42 million away from us in sales tax and income tax. That's 84 million. And then how many more million do we pay the federal income tax? So we're paying over $100 million. And remember, this is only 40% of the town, because 60% of the town is tax exempt.
We're up to 60 now?
You always were.
I thought it was,
No, the last official number, I say it over again, is when we had City Manager Brown. He published an official number of 58%. Now, since then, you hear different people in town saying 50%, 55%, numbers
always heard
dancing all
51.
around, but nobody says it's an official number. So I say it's 60%, because since Brown was here, there's been more property added to the tax exempt list. So
well,
over $100 million comes out of 40% of the people in town, just in taxes. So why are we such bad shape?
I don't know. It just
Because we don't get that money back. The state and the federal government keep it. And
So with all this going on, what makes people think that people are going to want to move here? I mean, our mill rate right now is 39 point something.
yeah,
I tell people at work that,
Yeah.
and they almost fall on the floor.
yeah.
And then when I tell them the city's only 6.5 square miles, they really fall on the floor.
Yeah, and let's see, I forgot who I was telling a while back. I don't know if it was right here or not. This last increase for the school board budget was, what did I say? It was 1,000,000.
1.5, 1.6.
670,000, something like that.
Yeah.
Now, only 10% of the town paid that extra $1,650,000. Only 10% of the town paid that.
Well, I can believe that because I'm looking at some paperwork I have here that I got from, I forget when, it was a little while back, and it talks about nonprofit organizations in different towns.
Yeah.
And New London has, at this point in time, and this was at least a year ago, has 268 nonprofit organizations in this town.
Uh-huh.
268.
Sounds impossible.
You would think.
Yeah.
But they're, planning and zoning is more than happy to grant more and more
Oh,
and
yeah.
more all the time.
Yeah.
And then I find out, which I should have known this and I didn't, that there's no recourse with planning and zoning. The council can't do nothing about their decisions. The mayor can't do nothing about their decisions. It's like having another form of a police chief.
Yeah.
And this to me is crazy. And this is why I would like to see in the new charter that who's ever on planning and zoning, it'd be an elected position. At least then you can vote some people out if they're giving away the kitchen
Yeah.
sink.
Yeah, no, that sounds reasonable.
I mean, come on. They did the same thing with St. Mary's School.
Yeah.
They let them, company came in, and I can understand St. Mary's, they need money. So they lease it for 99 years. You mark my words, eventually they're going to be tax exempt. The place they built
No.
on Jefferson Avenue near the high school and the
No.
projects, that's going to end up being tax exempt.
Now, St. Mary's School, I have to put in my 2 cents.
All right.
Now, these private schools are still paying a tax for the public schools, right?
I don't know.
Oh, yes, of course they are. They're still paying a property tax.
Wait a minute. Catholic schools are paying.
No,
a-
no, no,
All
no,
right.
no. The people that send their kids
Oh, yes, yes.
to St. Mary's or private schools, they are also paying for public schools.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Now, at the same time, even though the city council doesn't say it, they're happy that people are sending their kids to private schools. Even though they brag about public schools are so wonderful, send your kids here, they are really happy when you send your kids to private school because they're getting your money for the public schools, but they're also saving money because they don't have to spend the school money on your kids. You're sending them to a private school. So that means that the school in town can be smaller. It can have less teachers in it. So, you see, you got to watch these
That's pretty
double-edged
slick.
swords.
That's pretty
the way
slick.
these things work. you know,
That's pretty good.
they really want you to go to the private schools, but pay for the public school that you're not going to use. So they get free money.
I was looking at some of the names of some of these places that are tax exempt in
Oh.
our city,
Well,
and it doesn't even make any sense why they would be tax exempt. But anyways, what else you got there? You keep going. You're on a roll.
well, let me see. If 1.5 billion
Don't get
Is
too
only-
fancy with the numbers. You'll scare
only-
people.
is only 40% of the town, then the other 60% of the town would be 1.5, another 2.5 billion. So then the whole town would be $3.75 billion. If you could figure in the whole town, 3.75 billion. Now, just think of how low the mill rate would be if you could tax the full 3.75 billion property. You know where we'd be?
Yeah, we'd be
I
looking
take a
pretty
guess.
good.
I take a guess, we'd probably be down to, maybe 9 mils. That's just a guess. If we have a math teacher out there to call in, they can give us the right numbers.
Now, you're talking about, what the heck's the name you just said, but the $1 billion? That's for property assessment.
Yeah.
Assessment.
The
Okay.
grand list.
Grand list, that's the word I'm looking
But
for.
the
Thank
grand
you.
list only consists of 40% of the town.
Okay, so all these tax exempt businesses,
Yeah.
their buildings isn't part of that?
No.
So even with 260 as of maybe a year ago, I'm sure there's more
You
sense.
just said they're tax exempt.
I know it, but I just trying to figure out how the hell do you get that kind of a figure? We're not that big.
Yeah.
You can only fit so
Well,
many people. Okay, all right, let me ask you a
ask
question.
the- ask the
wait,
city
I
council to
I got a
explain it
question.
to
I
you.
got a question. We have senior housing and handicap housing and whatever else you want to call it on Coleman Street. We have it at Crystal Avenue. We have it up on behind the old police station. Now, all these federal housing and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Those buildings,
Yeah.
are they part of that figure?
Yeah. No.
They're
No,
not part of that
No, they're
figure.
part of the 60% of the town that's tax exempt.
So those,
They might be paying a little bit of taxes,
so
but
we
they're
don't
not
get no money
paying their
from the
full
government.
share,
We're
so
not
they're
getting the
tax
money from the
exempt.
federal government? We're not getting any money? We're not getting any kind of money from the federal government for those
Well,
buildings?
That's where these federal grants come in.
No, some of
Yeah.
these places that are tax exempt,
Or the pilot money. You get the pilot money.
like say, all right, we all know Mitchell College is a tax exempt place. They've been tax exempt since September of 1946.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a call.
Oh, maybe we got some real answers.
Good evening, you're on lot. I hope you haven't been waiting long.
You just picked up a Visa call.
Oh, sorry, we don't do Visa.
Oh,
Hello?
oh,
Sorry about that. We'll see what happens, folks. This Visa number is so close to Atlantic Broadband's number here
oh, yeah.
that sometimes she gets calls and it's from people looking for Visa.
Yeah,
All right, so
we get calls to the recovery room.
really,
Yeah.
you can make some money.
Well, make some money.
I don't know what we got for time, but anyways, so some of these not tax exempt places have been doing this for a long time. Mitchell College since 1946. Moose International Incorporated, I guess that's the Moose Lodge or whatever,
Yeah,
since 1940.
yeah.
National Association of Governmental Employees, labor organization.
Yeah.
I don't know why we have that in our little town, but we do.
Because other towns are smarter and they won't let them go there, so they come here.
New London Cemetery Association's tax exempt. Community Boating Incorporation? Are you kidding me? New London Community Boating Incorporation is tax exempt since 2001?
I'm guessing that's probably the sailing classes and Greens Harbor Beach.
Oh, all right. Community Meal Center. I'm just picking them in. I was looking at this at work the other day. I was saying to myself, you got to be kidding me. New London People's Forum Incorporation. London Soccer Club. Oh, boy. What else you got down there, young man? OpSale.
Well, talking about tax exempt and the pilot money, remember when Saninja was in office, he says the pilot money we get is only 17% of what it should be. And that was 5.3 million we got in pilot money. So if that's only 17%, as near as I can figure out with my level, is it should be 36 million. So just think if we got another 36 million.
Man, there's too many friggin'
shape
loopholes.
we'd be, much better shape we'd be in.
Too many loopholes.
Then Hewitt would be really generous and give us the 13 million. You know, we'd be sitting high hog.
You know, it has down here, Regional Multicultural Magnet School Foundation Incorporation, and it says Educational Organization Teachers Group. So, not only are we giving them all kinds of money, state and city-wise, you also have groups that are tax exempt.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, we're in the wrong racket.
Yeah. Yeah.
Raising Haiti.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. This hurts my brain.
It does, huh?
It really does. I mean, some of these things should not be on this list.
Oh, the new increase to the Board of Ed is going to be $1,267,950. So that means
And people,
that's an automatic tax increase already on the books.
and this
Even
ain't a
though the new
one-time.
mayor says he was going to hold taxes down.
And this ain't a one-time deal. It's not just you do it for 1 year and then next year it's not there.
Well, no.
Every time this happens, every
Well,
year after
this
that,
is
you're
the second
paying it.
year.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
I wonder how many people realize that. Oh, we're going off. Oh, this has been fun.
Oh, okay.
All right, folks, thanks for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next week.